prison. So, a lot of you may not know this about me. I have a background in law enforcement, particularly corrections. Assaults happen all the time on a regular. What I meant was when I said it's staff's fault is when they're not doing their walks the correct way, they're not doing their full security measures. People are cutting corners, stuff of that nature. But if inmates are in a cell together and they fight, it is what it is. Staff get there, they break it up. On the yard, a lot of fights happen in the yard. And just to let y'all know about prison, a lot of fights happen in the chow hall. A lot. Like when inmates are going in from the chow hall around food, a lot of fights happen during store day. You owe me. You pay that back in store. So, if you guys want, I'll give you some more prison stories in the future. I'm not gonna get to a whole prison story, but so before I get into the actual news of what happened to him, let's get into this other thing with Torey Lanez. This evidence that came out that the chick's bodyguard is now wanting to tell things of what quote unquote really happened, saying that pretty much Torey Lanez ain't pop nobody, it was the chick. Let's see what this guy has to say real quick.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Miss Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Miss Harris had where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun.
All right, so there it is. The bodyguard of that young lady is telling the truth about what happened. And in all reality, I said this off the top. I said this from the beginning. I'm like, that man ain't shoot her. That man ain't shoot her. Like, we know what happened with that. We know what happened with that. It's obvious, Let's read the story on that real quick. So it says Torey Lanez team claims Kelsey Harris's bodyguard said she shot Megan Thee Stallion, not Torey. Like, that's crazy. They're fucking friends. Or, we know what happened with that. I'm not gonna get into that whole story. Torey turned out to be smashing all of them. He's trying to get a 3-piece again. I think what, Kylie? He was trying to get Kylie too. Meg wasn't happy about it. That's pretty much happened. Former best friend Kelsey Harris. Let's look at Kelsey Harris real quick. Let's get some visual of her real quick. That's her in the middle. No one got Nicki Minaj up there for, Nicki Minaj is going out like Lil Kim. Let me just say this. Lil Kim did a lot for the culture, especially in the 90s. Lil Kim is a better overall, Nicki Minaj is a better overall rapper, but I'm not gonna get into that. But if I say going out like Lil Kim, like, let these young girls do their thing. I'm 40. Nicki older than me. Let these young girls do their thing. That's all I'm gonna say. But share photos of her sporting Nicki Minaj's new press play. All right, whatever. That's some girly back and forth banter. Harris had the gun. Harris fired it 3 times. Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody. Never even touched that gun. He never even fired the gun. I doubt Torey Lanez never ever touched the gun in his whole fucking life. This is interesting. And then, of course, as we all know, Torey Lanez gets assaulted. So let's go over that real quick. Rapper Torey Lanez's alleged prison attacker is a man with previous conviction for assault on inmate. That's a dime a dozen. Most inmates in prison have had assaults on other inmates. Like, that's what they do. This is prison. This is not fucking Disney World. You did to assert your dominance or not become a victim. While in prison, you have to fight. And sometimes you have to be on the offensive. Sometimes you have to be on the defensive. All right, this is the world. And Torey Lanez is in Cali. All right, he's in Cali. Okay. A man who attacked rapper Torey Lanez in a California prison is an inmate serving a life sentence for second-degree murder who was previously convicted for an in-person assault with a deadly weapon. Yeah, he don't give a fuck. This is like, all right, so no one in the prison system, right? Either some kind of disrespect happened, some kind of debt happened. I doubt it's debt. Torey Lanez got money, so some kind of disrespect happened, or as a hit. I don't know anything about this inmate, obviously, anything about what he's done in the past, but from my own knowledge of working in corrections, seeing this, it's pretty much random. And when you look down to it, a lot of prison stuff isn't random. I think it was a hit. Who called that hit? Who knows? There's things. You should know Torey Lanez's dad is parading in the streets, trying to get quote unquote justice for his son and shit. Like, man, get the fuck out of here. Lanez was in fair condition a day after the attack in a housing unit at the California Correctional Institute in Tehachapi, where he's serving a 10-year sentence for shooting hip hop in the feet. 10 years for shooting somebody in the feet is crazy. And it's not even. And the crazy thing about it was never even a what do you call it? It was never even a bullet. It was like scrap metal or some shit, like glass. Can I look up this guy? Can I look this guy up? Santino Casio. I mean, he's in for life, so I don't need to look him up. He's not a nice guy. Authorities did not specify how Lanez was attacked, but a message posted on the rapper's Instagram account Monday evening said Lanez was stabbed 14 times and both his lungs would collapse. Listen, that's death. So like I said, when you get smashed out in prison, like, so like I can, that's death. So that's just it has hit written all over it. I'm sorry. When people get smashed out in prison over prison politics, it's not usually death. It's they fuck you up. They fuck you up. Now, if it's disrespect, especially between races, that can lead to death. That's why I said it's either disrespect or it's a hit. He has been put in restricted housing pending an investigation by the prison and the Kern County District Attorney's Office. Casio has been in the facility since 2004. Shit, man, we've been in jail 20 years, man. After he was sentenced to life with parole possible for convictions of second-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder. In 2008, he was sentenced to 6 more years for assault by a person with a deadly weapon. Then he was sentenced to 2 more years for possession. So it's what it is. When you go to prison, this is not Disneyland. You're around criminals. You're around murderers. You're around people that try to cheat the system for a living. When you go to prison, guess what? They continue to try to cheat the system. I'm very interested. Very interested. If anybody works in this prison over there, please, like, y'all got the inside, because, you know, I got the inside. When it comes to corrections in the state that I'm in right now, I got the connections. That's all I'm gonna say. But we'll visit this topic at another date. You know, I made a video about Torey Lanez making that whole prison album, trying to look like he fucking Tupac. I mean, I made that a couple of months ago. You know, I'll leave the card there if you want to check out that video. Let's get into the Diddy case.